All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to our featured match on the MLBA, Rarran versus Skoottie. Doing this so I can make sure everything sounds good, everything looks good, everything feels good. Let me make sure. I need to make sure that chat is happening, that they can hear me. I hope you guys are all doing well. I'm super excited to be here. Oh, we hear you. Yes. Okay, we're here. All right. Hopefully I'm not too loud or anything. Hopefully the music's a good volume. We hear you. Okay. Rarran versus Skoottie. This is going to be a pretty good matchup, I think. I'm excited for this one, okay? There's a lot going on here. Let me see here. Spotlight. Let's take a look at Rarran himself. Perfect. Okay, here we are. So, Rarran, tough week one. Losing to Bean here. Looking to turn it around versus Skoottie. I hope you guys had a good week two. I had a good week two. A lot of it at the end was spent setting up what I hope is going to be a fun recap, okay? I don't know if you guys have heard of the NFL's fastest 3 minutes. We're going to try an MLBA fast-ish 5 minutes-ish, okay? So we're gonna get into it. We're gonna start with the recap. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Let's see here. Over to the Onyx Conference. Nope. Bloodstone Conference. This is the first stream that I've started here, so there's a little bit of me figuring it out here, so I appreciate your patience. Nice and snazzy, excited to see it. Only Edzy wins against Bean. That's true. That's true. Edzy on top of the Bloodstone Atlantic. Bean right behind. We've got Rarran down there looking for the win to get up over that dotted line. And you know what? Let's not delay. Okay? Stop the music. It's time. It's time. It's time. Okay, I hope you guys are ready. I'm ready. It's going to be a lot of quick talking. Hopefully it's heat. It's going to be good, okay? Kicking it off, MLBA Week 5. Week 2, 5 minutes, okay? Get ready. Here it comes. First game of the week. Halion versus Bean, kicking off Week 2 with the Season 2 champ. Game 1, Halion with a choice between Photo and Baron went for Retrigger. Bean was able to Invisibaron, found a Mime to get the Red Seals. Wins that one with high card. Game 2, Erratic deck with 17 face cards. Consistent play with Red Seal Blast and Bloodstone got Bean the win with 3 lives to spare. Moving on to Game 3. Unfortunate disconnect gives Bean the win 3-0. Bushy versus Adef, first game between 2 rookies in the MLBA. Game 1, Adef gets the win on his last life. Jumping over to Game 2, rocky start had Bushy losing 2 lives to the blinds before the first PvP. Adef was able to put it away. High score for that match, 9.4 thousand points. Complete opposite in Game 3, much higher scores. Adef, with the Invis Joker, was able to finish out the week undefeated with that 4 lives to 0 win. Domo versus Edzy, a set paid for by the Hack Joker. Game 1, Ancient. Edzy found an early hack, set it up before Domo could get the stock online, took it down with 2 lives to spare. Game 2, straight flush build from Edzy with the hack, was able to get him just over the finish line in this high stakes game, now leading the set 2-0. Game 3, Edzy carried that momentum through games 1 and 2. Tricky Black State game, won that without dropping a life. Bear versus Nito. Bear going all in on Hanging Chad with a golden ticket. Gave him just enough money to find the Idol in Dusk that Nito never saw, resulting in a Game 1 win. Game 2, Nito passes on an early Vagabond, which let Bear set up a more consistent deck, more glass card production, resulting in him winning without dropping a life. Game 3, no happy ending for Nito. This week, some amazing econ management from Bear gives him enough to pick up a Brainstorm advantage in Ante 1, resulting in a perfect 3-0 week. Frost versus Fur. Game 1, Blueprint with a mail-in rebate accelerated Fur's econ, giving him the perfect game to start off this set without dropping a single life. Game 2, it is Erratic deck, but Fur's deck is looking a little bit more organized, got him the win even though the Jokers look very similar. Game 3, Frost punches back in another deck fixing match. This time the Idle Needle tilts towards Frost and he was able to put one on the board with no room for error. Up next, Nandre versus Sizak. The blinds fight back in this one. Game 1, Nandre was happy to see the mime early, but it must not have felt the same. Sizak kept the edge for this one to start the set with a win. Game 2, Nandre gets home field advantage on the Plasma Deck Gold State game. Both players trade blows, but the final hit is dealt by the fourth state of matter. Nandre dies to the blind, ties the set 1-1. Game 3, Green Stake has got some hands, taking 2 of Nandre's lives, including the last of the set, giving Sizak the win 2-1. Up next, we got Malth versus Gothic. Game 1, Gothic trusts the words of his king, the Baron, but only false promises follow. As stacked X-Malth from Malth's Jokers beat out the Kings, Malth takes the lead 1-0. Game 2, Gothic fights back, tying the series 1-1, which brings us to Game 3, a game of momentum. Malth finds the tipping point on 1 life, pulling it all the way back for the reverse sweep to win the week 2-1. Up next, Zaino versus HBox, 2 titans of their game. HBox starts off the week with a bang, a veteran-like move to utilize a loyalty card of all things to beat Zaino without dropping a single life. Game 2, Zaino fights back, 4-0 sweep of his own brings us to Game 3. You can't take the Zane out of Zaino, stacking glass with some re-triggers to finish up the set, beating HBox 2-1. Brings us to our next game of the week, Roffle versus Doc, 2 titans of this game. The Greatest Showman gifting Roffle one of the most unlikely shops. Chad, Idle in 1 shop, unfortunately not enough to overcome the Red Seal Glass face cards. Game 2, a very stressful and close Gold State game, both players barely surviving the blinds, but they are inevitable, taking 3 lives this game, including Doc's last to tie the set 1-1. Game 3, it turns out money can be exchanged for goods and services, or you can just skip with a double tag to grab the Brainstorm from the Buffoon Pack skip, which Doc wins the series with 2-1. Finally, Feinberg versus Justin. Even down a DNA, Feinberg is able to take Game 1, double skipping for an idle hit after some back and forth trading. Close game, but Feinberg's going to take it out, starting the series 1-0. Game 2, meme stock lovers rejoice with Feinberg and his diamond hands. He holds an egg all the way through this game, winning the set, putting him up 2-0 on the week. Game 3, keep holding and you'll eventually be dumped. Feinberg picks up an idol at $6 a share, but it only sells for half that and never seems to pay out with a hit, allowing Justin to take the win with his Red Seal Glass advantage to finish out the set 2-1 in favor of Feinberg. Up next, we've got Vagabond versus C-Dubs. Game 1, game of the week, and a tale as old as time, high card versus re-triggers. Vagabond was 1 life away from wrapping this one up before the Baron could become king, but he was just a little bit too slow. Baron online, game 1 goes to C-Dubs. Game 2, Nailbiter down to 1-1 on lives in this ancient game. C-Dubs missing 1 Red Seal Glass in the bottom of his deck cost him the final life of the game, and Vagabond ties it up 1-1 on the week. Game 3, early scare for Vagabond, dying to a blind and losing a life in the first PvP takes him down to 2 lives in this Gold Stake game. He is saved by some shops. C-Dubs does some skips, nervous about the blinds, skips past some of these good jokers that Vagabond is able to find. And with that, Vagabond wins the set 2-1. Boom! 5 minutes, done. Okay, that was live, that was real. On to the creative play of the week. Edsy picks up an eternal 4 fingers, plays into straight flushes. Usually a hard line to navigate for most players, but Edsy was able to pull it off for a win in this match. Not often you see very creative. Thank you to John Brown Ceramics for sponsoring this season of the MLBA. John Brown Ceramics, if you guys don't know or haven't heard, you've been living under a rock. Because they're pretty cool. Oh no, it stopped. Go back. Oh no. Go back to the splash. John Brown Ceramics combines clay, technology, and math to create unique mugs, tumblers, and planters. Every piece's pattern is generated by a unique seed, much like a game of Balatro, meaning it's one of a kind. They sell out quick, so sign up for the mailing list so you can get notified when one of those drops, because if you don't, you will miss it, I promise you. Thank you to John Brown Ceramics for sponsoring this season of the MLBA. Okay, holy cow. Are you here? Okay, let me get us in here. Woo. Okay, all right. Did I okay, dot. Okay. Holy cow. Was it good? I'm not gonna lie. The beginning I stumbled a little bit, but I feel like I found my groove in the middle to the end there. Okay. Let's go. That was the goal. That was the goal. Oh, no Zeno. Uh-oh. The scene does have no background. Background. Refresh. There it goes. Okay, we have a background. We still have no you.
Is Discord audio on?
Okay.
Slash...
Yeah, we're good now. We're good now. I think.
Oh.
Hold on. Are we there?
Hello?
Sorry. Zeno's muted. He's not anymore. Can you guys hear him?
I'm not muted anymore.
There he is. Okay, big.
It's me.
Okay. Cole in the booth. It's true. Okay.
All right. Well, now we get to the interesting portion. We gotta talk about this game, Skoottie versus Rarran, featured match of the week. Cole. I have to say, Skoottie and Rarran have both looked like, I've been saying this for everybody, and it's hard. It doesn't sound as genuine when it's coming from the commissioner. Everyone looks so good this year. Everyone's improved a lot. I think 4 seasons in, there's the meta's kind of being found out. People are being more efficient, but Skoottie looked fantastic against Mouth. And then Rarran was legitimately like 1 roll away from multiple wins in that set against Bean. So I think we're in for a good one.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see it. It should be a good game. I know Rarran is maybe thinking about pulling out the Crossy Road, so we'll see if we get maybe some skip situations going on later into the games.
Crossy Roads really should sponsor us. I mean, with how much free advertising we give them.
I agree. Oh, okay. I'm still getting my bearings on this here. But what do you think about Rarran's schedule? Rarran's schedule is coming off of a tough week here, losing to Bean.
Again, not to. I think he had to have come away from that game feeling confident. Again, we were so close to beating a former champion. Many people consider Bean the best player in this league. I feel like Rarran maybe even got, you could call it, slightly unlucky to not win this 2-1. I would be for example, if I played that way against Doc, I'd be coming away feeling very good. I think the rest of Rarran's schedule is very winnable. I wouldn't be shocked to see Rarran fight Bean for first place in this division.
Yeah, I definitely think the level of play of everybody in the MLBA has just increased season to season. So, looking at the names, maybe in season 1, you're like, okay, I'm feeling good. Now in season 4, I'm a little bit nervous about each one of these games.
No, absolutely. And I think it's a valid concern if you're anybody in this league. I mean, I think one of my favorite examples is Nandre looks absolutely lethal. Showdown in season 1, maybe took a little bit of a dip in performance in seasons 2 and 3, and now I'm terrified to play him. But we could move on to Skoottie, one of my favorite players to talk about in Major League Balatro.
Yeah, why's that?
The gold stakes. I think Skoottie plays gold stakes in a very interesting way that comes off halfway between a multiplayer outlook and a halfway single player outlook, and I think it has bared some fruit these past couple seasons. Starts off with a win over Mouth. A win here over Rarran would really put him in position to kind of cruise his way into at least a wild card spot, if not a top 2 seed in the division. And I think as Major League Balatro has gone along, people are, I don't want to say going away from gold stakes, but it's not at least through 2 weeks, has not been as many gold stake games as we used to see. So Skoottie maybe having an advantage, still sticking with that style of gameplay. Of course, Mouth and Skoottie, we're always only going to play high stakes with one another.